What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk About Transformers. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Studio Series 86 Scourge figure. Real quick aside, if you might have noticed, this is coming out on a Saturday. I decided that from this point on, as long as we're just doing one video a week, we'll go ahead and release it on Saturday. So that way it's not coming out in the middle of a regular weekday, since I only am putting up one. And then I can film on the same day that the videos are coming out, get the stuff filmed and edited and things like that. And then there's a couple of points of articulation that I missed on Blur last time. So we'll go ahead when we do our robot comparisons and check out his hip articulation that I missed. I was probably too busy talking about keeping that item in his back and things like that, and the effect it had on the wasteful. And without my ramblings getting in the way any longer, here we have Scourge in his little hovercraft space boat mode. Here he is from the side. You've got just some molded detail. You got a port there for the weapon, which we'll look at in a minute. The light color and the fact that it's molded kind of softly, it's hard to see the details on the camera. It's easier to pick them up in person. On the top, he's got his Decepticon logo printed there in purple with the sulfur paint outline, and then just more bare plastic with lots of intricate, nice molded detail, just bare plastic though. And then each of his little boosters there has light blue paint applied to it for some color breakup. Here he is from the back. You got some molded detail mostly for the robot stuff, and then some gaps in the alt mode, and you've got a couple of ports there that you can plug blast effects into. From the front of it is just smooth mostly with some details, and then up here you've got his big old head center rocket there. Got a little bit of red paint on the middle of that dot. I know for a fact that the side ones are blast compatible. I think the middle one might be too in this mode, but don't quote me on that, because I don't actually have my blast effects out to test it. And here he is from the bottom going on down. It's just robot details. Literally all of this is robot stuff. Even the details on these flaps here are what's going to show on the front in robot mode. So all this is just the usual robot kibble underside. The only reason these wings even remotely look like they're going to help clean it up is just because they needed to fold in somewhere. With him out of the way, we'll go ahead and take a look at his accessory. Here we have his rifle. It's just molded blue plastic. Again, lots and lots of details, but no paint. Pretty much as to be expected. You've got the port for the handle, you've got the port for storage and vehicle mode, and I just go ahead and slap it on this side so it's facing forward and it's upright, because I don't really care. It's a space vehicle. It can have a gun on his hip if it wants to. And there you have him in vehicle mode. We'll go ahead and take a look at some comparisons. There you have him with Jazz, Blur, Bumblebee, Grimlock, and Prime Jr. Alrighty, size comparisons done. Let's go ahead and get him transformed. We're going to remove his weapon, put it out to the side there. And for starters, I'm just going to fold these flaps open right here. They are on little thooping hinges, the hexagonal type hinges, so they're going to kind of thoop into place. This one is looser on mine. And then before I forget again, I'm going to open his feet up. I remember to open the toes up, but when I was trying to get him stabilized for size comparisons in a previous video, I forgot that he had heels. So, and then we're going to go ahead and pull this panel out, and we're going to pull it out on this side. And there's just a slot here that goes around like a T-tab. And I'll show you what that looks like when we get this removed. We're going to go ahead and pull the back loose and up. You've got tabs and spaces for tabs to go. And then this front section here is kind of a locking tab, and the best way to get that open is to use your thumb to push this side and use your pointer finger to push this side up, if you're using your left hand, that is. Come on, there we go. Got it unlocked, and then we'll go ahead and stretch it out and bump the camera in the process, as always. So there you have those opened up. We'll go ahead and finish those wings off now. Go ahead, if they haven't done it for you already, and fold these panels in. Fold the thrusters down, and then making sure that this stays on the outside, go ahead and bend them up on this double hinge. There you've got the T-tab mentioned earlier until they sit nicely. Go ahead and do that on this side, just rocking that panel up. Now we'll go ahead and detach this plate back here. The heels are getting in my way. I regret nothing. You've got 2 slots here, 2 tabs here. My slots have some stress marks in them. We'll go ahead and zoom in real quick on the slots, please. So you got some stress marks, just something for you to be wary of. And then you got to get this whole assembly sorted. You've got 2 different parts here. This is going to fold all the way flat and fold all the way up in. And then this is the thing that likes for me to not remember how it works, but I'm 100% certain now that you're going to fold it like L and rest his head back on it, and then you're going to bend it up forward until that hinge pops under the chest, and then you've got this panel is going to fold down against the back, and then this whole back rocket section is going to come down, and you've got a slot in the panel and a peg hole there that's going to rest in to form the backpack. We'll go ahead and line this up now. These 2 tabs, these tabs we used in vehicle mode. These tabs we're going to use in robot mode, or the other way around. Yes, the other way around. This tab is going to go in here, and the same on the other side. So we're going to angle those back and plug those tabs in, so that way we can finish his backpack, and then we'll finish his torso. First thing I'm going to do is spin his little laser around, so you've got the little pointy nubbin, and then we'll detach the arms from the legs. You've got tab and slot in the forearm. No, legs stay together for now. Detach, and then you're going to rotate them up, and you've got a tab here and a slot in the shoulder, and you're going to tab those into place, and that's your lot for the arms. We'll rotate them down, kind of angle them a little bit so that way it doesn't look like a robot, a stiff human-made robot, and then separate the legs, get those angled how you want. And he's going to stand, because I remembered he has heels, except for I keep bumping my camera, which is bumping the table. There you've got him in his robot mode, looking pretty good. So we'll go ahead and take a look at his paint and articulation next. Alrighty, there you have him close up on his face, and I have no affiliation with the G1 movie, as I've stated previously, but this is my definite favorite head sculpt from the 86 line so far. I like the little Fu Manchu beardy bits. I just really like how they look. Oh, my flash is killing that Decepticon symbol, but he's got a Decepticon symbol on his chest. His eyes, his face, and his beard are painted. You've got a little bit of that light blue on the top of his head left over, and the front has got a pink little laser. You've got some light blue on his chest there, a little bit on the arms, with some actual blue plastic for color breakup. His hands are painted, and his fingernails are painted pink. I believe his thighs are painted. These pieces might also be painted. Yes, there's blue paint on those, so that looks good because it's paint next to paint. And then coming down his legs, you've just got details, no paint. Coming up the side and bumping the camera as we do it, he's got a little bit more paint on the back of his forearms there. You've got some red-pink paint in those ports on his shoulders, so I'll never plug anything in those. And then here you have his backpack of death. You've got the split up Decepticon symbol, but all the paint on his back is pretty much the same paint from the front of his legs here, and then paint from the vehicle mode. We'll go ahead and zoom out. I say zoom out. Do it. Thank you. There he is from the back all the way. Here he is from the front all the way. We'll take a look at his articulation. If you want to, you could count the top spinny thing as articulation, but I'm not gonna. You got a ball joint at the head, little limited due to his little cape neck frill there. Can't really look up, can look down a little bit though, and he'll give you a little bit of confusion. If you want to, you can bend the backpack out of the way to get the arm around. It's not gonna go full 360 unless you angle it out at the shoulder. Speaking of the shoulder, over 90 degrees of bend at the shoulder. You have elbow bend over 90 degrees, and you have, if I can show it off here, the shoulder wants to swivel, so we'll go ahead and bend you. We've got our bicep swivel. We have waist rotation. We have the articulation I missed on blur. You've got the forward, it only goes about this far, and if you spread it out, it's not really going to help you much. For the back, we'll go ahead and move the cape out of the way, give him his best chance. Still not all the way, but good enough. And then if you've got the cape actively in the way, it's going to run into it. You have a thigh rotation, which is on a mushroom peg, and if you wiggle it enough times, it just comes off. It's not on there super secure. So just make sure that after you turn it, you get it plugged back in. You've got knee going over 90 degrees. You have ankle pivot, that much pivot. It's not a bad amount, but it's not a great amount. And then you can tilt the toes down and the heels down, do the transformation if you need to for any posing options. And he has one hand molded to be in a more open position and another hand molded in a more closed position, which means that that's the hand that should hold his gun. I want to also note that he came with a blast effect himself, but it is lost in a bin, and I did not find it before the review, because again, I've had a lot of these figures for a while before I even started filming reviews. We'll go ahead and get the camera lowered here. There we go. There you have him with his weapon, so he can shoot things, and it is blast compatible with the tip at the front there. Studio Series 86 is kind of hit or miss with that. So is some of the Beast Wars in Kingdom, so they didn't really follow it through to the end. I'm just gonna straighten his wings out here, guys. There he is. There's his articulation. We'll go ahead and get him a little bit of posed up and take a look at some size comparisons, and then we'll go ahead and catch you up on Blur's hip joints, and then we'll finish this up here. Alrighty, here he is with Blur, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that hip movement that we missed. You've got forward all the way, you've got an arm in the way, you've got back all the way, shifted out slightly because of the tail cone, so he can do the full split forward. He can do the full split out and then some, go a little higher. And in case I missed this, he does have the thigh swivel. And since there's a mushroom peg in there, I want to say that I didn't forget it. But there, covered all of that missed pose ability. Thank you to my brother for pointing that out. He also told me a way to store this little white piece back here that gets it up in there. It's not the most secure, and I don't think it makes much of a difference, so I'm going to mention it, but not show it. Oh, I got the hiccups or something. Jeez, bumping the camera too. And there you've got Blur and Scourge. As for the rest, there you have them with Jazz, Bumblebee, Grimlock, Prime Jr., and Cyclonus, who I definitely didn't forget until the last second and purposefully left out of the vehicle mode size comparisons on purpose and not on accident. Definitely, that's how it happened. Alrighty, and that's your lot really for Studio Series 86 Scourge. He's not a bad Scourge at all. Like most Scourges, he's got a bit of a backpack. It's not as clean as some of the third party, but it's also not a terrible pain in the butt to transform, and it looks pretty good from the front to me. The vehicle mode is Scourge's vehicle mode, so do with that what you will. Like I previously mentioned, I really do just like his face sculpt, and the fact that one of his hands is sculpted kind of open, because that, you know, it adds to posability. Got him in this almost dramatic pose here, if you will, and that's pretty much it for him. If you might have noticed, size comparisons have changed up. I'm going to do a Legends, a Deluxe, a Voyager, and a Leader. So Legends is Prime Jr., Leader is Grimlock. The Deluxe and the Voyager should be coming before and from the video before and after. In the event, we have a different kind of video, and I need to sub one in. The Voyager class substitute is going to be Cyclonus now, so I can put my Bumblebees away. And I don't really know who I'll put in for a deluxe size stand-in at the moment. Maybe just who have I reviewed? Maybe I'll just have to hold off on doing anything where I need a stand-in until I review Hot Rod, because I'm probably going to make him my deluxe stand-in, just because I like him. And that's mostly it for the channel updates. I kind of changed my lookup. I tried to make the background a little better. We're going to see how that goes. And I'm just making the comparisons full Transformers and different size scales. And there are some Transformers that just aren't going to show up anymore, so I can put them in boxes, because I've had a couple of close calls with shelves and things, and I just want to put them in their boxes for the time being until I can figure out what I'm doing with my shelves. And that's about it. So this has been Sir Tacos with Talk About Transformers, and I don't have a catchphrase because I'm a talentless hack.